was a kid, my dad and I were best friends. We danced in TikTok videos, watched movies every night, and we even had our own rock band. But when Dad became the mayor, everything changed. He never had time for me. So he hired a horrible old nanny named Miss Boot, which didn't make any sense. I mean, really, who needs a nanny at 15? Stop chewing with your mouth open. You weren't raised in a barn. And no more candy, only vegetables for you. No video games either. They'll rot your brain. I tried everything to get Dad's attention. I got straight A's in school, I sent him funny memes, and I even went to his office to show him my new dance moves. But nothing worked. For his birthday, I made him a special dinner, but as I was cooking, I glanced out the window and saw a cute boy across the street waving at me, so I had to go talk to him. And one thing led to another, and the kitchen caught fire. When Dad got home, he was furious.
What happened?
The last thing I wanted was Dad mad at me. So I made up a little white lie. It was the strangest thing. I was out here smelling flowers when I suddenly saw flames from the kitchen. If you ask me, I think it was Miss Boot. She's a creepy old lady. She's jealous of us, and I think she's up to no good. Of course, Dad took Miss Boot's side and grounded me for lying. I gave up trying to get Dad's attention and started focusing more on me. One morning, I decided to ditch school, so I stole the keys to one of my dad's cars and drove myself to the beach. I had so much fun swimming and sunbathing, and even got the most amazing tan. When I walked back to the parking lot, Dad's car was gone. I looked everywhere, but I couldn't find it. It was getting late, so I called an Uber and went straight home, hoping Dad wouldn't notice the car was missing. Hey, he hadn't driven it in months. It was possible. When I got home, I ran right into Dad and Miss Boot.
How was school, honey?
It was great. Lots of learning. Your teachers called and said you didn't show up to your classes. Oh, there must be some misunderstanding. I was working on a special project studying the mating rituals of sand fleas.
And my car?
I was gonna tell you, it got caught in a flash tornado. It was picked up and flew into the sky. Daddy, it was so terrible and scary. I barely made it out alive. I think I should lie down and forget about this horrible day. Dad didn't believe a word I said and grounded me forever, especially since my teachers ratted me out and a couple of criminals used Dad's car in a bank robbery. It took my dad weeks to clear that mess up. A few months later, I got the greatest news. Mean old Miss Boot was retiring. The day she left, I celebrated. I stuffed my face with candy and played video games all night long. But the next morning, Dad spoiled everything.
I'm hiring a new nanny to look after you.
Hello? I'm practically an adult. I can take care of myself. Before I could plead my case, the new nanny walked in. Her name was Miss P, and she had a daughter named Amy. They both looked like Disney princesses. They wore flowers in their hair, and I swear I heard birds singing when they smiled.
Miss P and Amy will live in the servants' quarters. They'll be helping out around the house.
It's a pleasure to meet you, Becca. You're so pretty. I really hope we can be friends. I glanced at myself in the mirror. My hair was a mess, my face was puffy, and I had chocolate on the corners of my mouth. Clearly, this girl was blind. I stormed off to my room and pouted for the rest of the day. Don't judge me, like you're perfectly mature all the time. To my surprise, I started to enjoy having Miss P and Amy around. Miss P kept our house sparkling clean, and she was the best cook. She made my favorite foods and told me funny stories. Amy was pretty cool too. She loved playing video games and watching sci-fi movies with me. Even though Amy and Miss P didn't have much money, Amy was still the best-dressed girl I knew. One day we went shopping together, and she gave me the best advice. Green is totally your color. It brings out your eyes. I don't know. I'm not really into dresses. Trust me, with that dress and those shoes, you'll look like a supermodel. Amy was right. As we walked through the mall, everyone kept staring at me and giving me compliments. A couple of boys even asked me for my number. After that, Amy and I were attached at the hip. We were total besties. I begged Dad to pay Amy's tuition so we could go to the same school, and he said yes.